Okay, another, looks like it's going to be a scorching hot a day by English standards anyway. And this is a hidden away parking area. Yeah, it's a space maybe for, well, at the most 10 cars here. I'm starting to walk in Nether Wasdale. Now, people who come to this part of the Lake District, practically all of them go to Wasdale Head, 4.5 miles up there. It's one of the finest spots in the Lake District for lake and mountain views. But I won't be going that far. I'll be going, but I'll still be getting excellent views. It's the beck that comes down from Wasdale. There's a nice little cottage, eh? I'll be turning off the lane here. I won't be walking too far today. Let's see. I think I'll go up this track. It's Wastwater. It's certainly got a wild sound, and it is one of the wildest of the Lake District lakes. Okay, I've come about maybe 1/3 of a mile along this dusty farm track. Easy walking, and this track services that farm ahead, and that's what I'm taking. I'm going to have a closer look at the Wastwater screes. It's a famous scree slope, probably the most extensive scree slope in the Lake District. But there you can see the mountain backdrop. You can't quite see, I don't think you can quite see Great Gable. And of course, England's highest mountain, Scaffold Pike, is climbed from Wasdale as well, but that, you can't see that. It's hidden away. Okay, I'm approaching this farm. It looks quite a well-kept farm, Eastwake Farm I believe it's called. And yes, I've got footpath to Wasdale Head, footpath to Erton Fell, so I think that's where I go, Wasdale Head. Okay, I'm just by this farm, and I just show this to show how hot it is here, considering how it normally is. It's those poor sheep, just trying to stay cool there along the side of that barn. Yeah, they have the wool coats on. Of course, they've all been sheared, but still, they're not. They're happier in the winter. I think, as far as that goes. That barn, and there's the farmhouse itself, a typical Lakeland farm. The walk I'm on this morning isn't really a very long walk. It goes to the foot of the Wastwater Lake, and then goes round, some footpaths back to where I parked the car. But that's what I thought I'd point out. Vapor trails. You don't always see those in the summer months in this country, but of course the weather, yeah. That's a better view of the sky trails. 4 of them. The scenery from here on should start to get a little bit more interesting. There's the Wastwater screes there. They go up steeply for 2,000 feet, a very impressive mountainside. What I'll do, I'll just walk along, not far, just maybe a quarter of a mile or so, along the scree section of the, just get a better impression. As I say, I'll have to retrace my steps after a while. There's the end of the lake. Of course, it looks pretty mild in these kind of conditions. Now that building there is a pump house. I think it supplies water for for the local area. Okay, there's the end of the lake. As I say, it looks pretty mild. There's no wind, hardly any wind blowing, and yeah, it's right there. I'll just go a couple of 100 yards along there to that little bit of scree, because maybe it'd look more impressive if it was viewed from the other side. As you say, there's the road that runs along the other side to the head of the Wasdale, about another, well, at least another 5 miles up there. It's quite a long lake. The pump house, and I'll retrace my steps and go around through that woodland. And I don't know if you can see there over there. That's Wasdale Hall. It's now a youth hostel. I'll be passing by that and going to the road, and then doubling back on the lower slopes of those hills on the opposite side. But this is as far as I'll go. You can see the footpath there. It goes all the way along to the other end of the lake. It's a rough footpath. So this side of the lake, I'd have it to myself if I decided to continue my walk along the. But that's you can't really see it too much because of the sun's more or less directly overhead. Yeah. You can see how calm it is. Look at the reflection of those trees in the lake, and also a reflection of the sky trails there in the lake. Yeah. Okay, I've left the track that serves that pump house, and take this wooden path, which will be a nice respite from the overhead sun. Okay, I have to go along here for a little way to get to a footbridge to cross that stream, or beck as it's generally called in the Lake District or the north of England, and then come back on the other side. Very pleasant walking through here in the shade as well. Very nice, and kind of like typical English countryside here, right by the wild wilderness of the mountain peaks. But there's a nice and interesting, hidden away in this woodland, that stone bridge. Obviously it was served the carts in the old days. They could cross over the river, and well, probably just they still cross over. There's a farm gate. Now, of course, I retraced on the other side. I trace where I'd just come down there, back on the other side, and head for Wasdale Hall. Nice respite going through this shaded wooden footpath, and it's well trodden. One reason for that might be the youth hostel just round the corner. Walkers, otherwise I've had the place to myself. Walking the dog. A good walk for a dog on a day like today. Okay, there's that scree footpath over there. It goes around the length of the lake. Yeah, That's well, a kind of a classic lakeland view there. Okay, Wasdale Hall is just coming into view. Look, it's tucked away nicely. Obviously a private home at one time, but now, of course, owned by the National Trust. And yeah, there's a nice bench. But I'll continue on. And I don't think it's open during the day. But if it is, I might get a cup of tea. Okay. That's a better view of the Wastwater screes there, right there. Yeah, they're kind of, well, I always think they're spectacular. Yeah, a very pleasant walk in this. There are a few more people now as I approach the road. There it is, Wasdale Hall. I'm pretty sure it isn't open, but it's, I think it's, as youth hostels go, it looks like a very attractive place to spend a few days. I won't go any closer. I'm pretty sure it's not open. Oh boy. This is a handy spot for dogs though, by the side of the lake. Asda delivery man, ready for bringing in the supplies. And look at this, direct access to the lake with your own launching pier as well. Yeah, that's not going to fall apart, it's made out of stone. Yeah, look at that. Fantastic for, well, for kids basically, yeah, that stay there. Yeah, it's but they're all at school now, of course. Might be the last bit of shade. Well, the shade, well, I'll still get shade, but maybe I will be going out into the open a bit later on. But there's a handy bench there, and you can meditate on the tranquil waters of this lake and the classic lakeland view. And there, look at that. That's what I like about it. The good view of the scree slope. There's several big scree slopes along there. There's another one along there. And of course, it's a 2,000 foot. The top of that is roughly 2,000 feet, maybe not quite 2,000 feet above the surface of the lake. A little bit of breeze have just sprung up out of nowhere. The reason I'm homing in on this scree slope, which is well over 1,000 feet high, is that the Victorians, when the mountaineering Victorians introduced a sport of scree running, and you could descend on the virgin scree slopes. You could probably descend a slope like that in not much more than 10 minutes. And in my younger days, I used to do it. I used to run the odd scree slope, but of course you can only run them so many times, and then all the small stones end up at the bottom. Okay, that's just coming up that footpath there through a gate in that wall. And this is a nice little parking spot. I parked here the last time I came, I think. Of course, you'd be lucky to get this parking spaces on a real busy summer weekend with weather like this. Now I'll start heading back towards the car and do initially along the road, but then on the hillside. But later on, I'll just drive to the end of the valley there, to the Wasdale Inn, and well, either have a pint or a cup of tea. I left the road a bit just down there, and on this very nice shaded track, and you have a different viewpoints open up. A nice little breeze has sprung up, and I haven't actually been on this path before, so all this is kind of new to me. And it's oh, that's buck barrow there. I just looked it up. Yeah, that's now. That looked. You can mistake that for that conical mountain at the the head of the valley, the Great Gable. But it's actually, I think it's Kirkfell, and that one to the left is Yew Barrow. That was the first mountain I ever actually ascended. Over 50 years ago. I came off here for a weekend on a motorbike camping. Yeah, a nice cool breeze has sprung up, which came just at the right time as I was crossing this open ground here. Wastwater screes over there now, and okay, now up there, you can't quite see it, is England's highest mountain, Scaffold Pike. It's up there somewhere. It's yeah, and of course that's a very popular destination. It's like Snowdon. It's the one people want to climb to the top of. Okay, Scale Bridge, 130 yards. Greendale, 1 mile. Gale Syke, third of a mile. Pedestrians, horses and cycles allowed. Well, Scale Bridge is 130 yards down here. Nice shaded ash trees. Well, that looks like a maple. But this looks like Scale Bridge coming up. It's more than 130 yards. Well, not much more, but it's Scale Bridge. It's probably been there some time. Oh, more sky trails. Maybe a little over half a mile before I get back to the car. Okay. It's quaint cottages, bare of them. Okay, that's the end of this walk. The car is just around the corner there. Yew Barrow. That's the first mountain I climbed in the Lake District about 55 years ago. And I went up from the campsite at the head of the Wastwater there, and I went straight up that slope. Straight up the slope to the top. I wasn't particularly fit, but of course I was young. Okay, I'm at Wasdale Head, and this is, I'd say for mountain scenery, this is close, pretty well as close as you're gonna get to being top of the class for mountain scenery. Here's the car park. It's free, believe it or not. It's a popular place, but and there's Wasdale Inn over there. I'll just go over there in a minute and maybe try one of the ales. Now that's Yew Barrow there. It's not, of course, it's just not very exciting from this end. It's Mosdale. It's a nice walk up that valley. That's a bed and breakfast place there. It's not too bad. Reasonable bed and breakfast charges. And that's, of course, that great gable there on the. You can see a footpath on the right. That's yeah, that's one of the ascent routes by the corridor route. It goes up to Stye Head Pass and then on the corridor route up to the top of Scaffold Pike, highest mountain in England. Came in a car park for Wasdale. Head in. There's the path that goes up to Stye Head. And that's Westmoreland Crags on Great Gable. Some pretty hairy or scary rock climbs on that. That's Kirk Fell. Yeah. Scaffold Pike, 3,210 feet. The highest mountain in, and there's the route from where we are now. It goes up there, route to Scaffold Pike. Right up there. I wouldn't like to do it today. It's, yeah, it goes up there and up that little valley off to the left. Scaffold Pike's hidden behind there. I'm inside the Wasdale Inn, and this looks like the kind of rock climbers' room. Yeah, characters from the Victorian times. Now this was the headquarters. This is where rock climbing basically began in this area, and this was where they stayed, Wasdale. Yeah. And that's a rock climbing problem there. It's on the side of Great Gable, Nape's Needle. I tried going to the top once, but it's yeah, I chickened out. Okay, all the shaded spots are taken. But that's pretty good. Pretty good, £2 for a pot of tea. I just changed my table. Maybe slightly more shaded. Yeah, but look at this, a great place to have a cup of tea. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, yeah, beautiful place, fantastic. That's the slope I climbed up, directly up there. Yeah, from an old rough campsite at the well, just over there, before the National Trust campsites were established. Okay, now you can't see Scaffold Pike, but you can see the crags and buttresses leading up to it. I think that's Scaffold Buttress there, but I'm not sure. I think that mountain there is called Great End. You go over the top of it on the way to Scaffold Pike, which is hidden behind that crag there. Yeah, fantastic day.